Hey, beautiful humans! Seattle's pop scene might not be known for dance floor anthems, but one artist is changing that narrative in a big way. Tonight's artist spotlight shines on Envi Jordan, a queer dance pop artist blending high energy beats with deeply personal storytelling. With his latest single, Somebody to Love, Envi isn't just delivering a club ready hit, they're delivering a powerful statement about self worth, identity, and the journey towards self love. Paired with his first ever official music video, which is fabulous, by the way, the release marks a bold new chapter for an artist who's quickly carving out their own lane in pop. So, without further ado, welcome to the show.
I'm doing well, and thank you for that introduction.
Oh, you're very welcome. And it's all true.
Especially what you said about Seattle's not known for dance pop.
Well, it's true.
That is true. It's like a battle. It's like a battle, a silent battle.
Seattle is such an amazing city. How do you find Seattle has shaped your sound, really?
I don't think Seattle's really shaped my sound at all, just because well, at this point, I'm not a kid anymore, but I was a true internet kid. So I was influenced by things that I was seeing happening all around the world, and it's still that way. I'm like right now, I'm just very influenced by everything happening in Europe with dance
Right.
music. I love it. I just think they're so out of the box and creative,
Right?
and I love it.
Do you find, because you lived in New York for a while, didn't you?
Yes, I'm from New York originally.
Right. It's a very different vibe. I've been to New York and I love it there, and it's such a cool vibe there.
Yeah, I love New York. Honestly, if it wasn't so expensive, I'd probably be living there right now.
It is bloody expensive.
It is.
What does it mean to you to represent queer identity in pop right now?
It means a lot to me because right now I feel like there's an active push to sort of demonize the queer community.
Yes.
And I think right now it's important. But also just across the board where queer artists are concerned from now and before. Because of course we had George Michael and there have been other artists who were openly queer
Yes.
that definitely paved the way. But I think right now it's important to be unapologetically yourself at this time,
Yes.
because we also at the same time have a history of queer artists who sort of were straight for like most of their career, and then
Yes.
afterwards they came out, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very important for me that in the foundation of my career, I'm already openly queer, that I'm using that, when I'm singing about my love interests in my songs, I'm using he pronouns. So it's clear that I'm talking about a guy, and I'm not being, discreet about it, because I think that's it's just not. I'm not. I've never been a fan of when like an artist sort of is gay, but sort of hides it to make the audience comfortable. I think
Yes.
right now it's important to be unapologetically yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've had conversations about this with a few artists in recent times. That authenticity right now, I think the general public is gravitating towards authenticity because there's so many artists out there who are manufactured and just put together and just don't have that authenticity that and it's hard to connect with their music because it's so manufactured, whereas yours and
They aren't even singing their songs. They're
right?
AI.
So authenticity matters, right?
It does. 'Cause it's insane how it went from like, you know, uh, far back as, when music was just live instruments. And then when the drum machines came in and people were like, oh, that's not real. And then autotune came in and people were like, oh, that's not real. And now we have people that aren't even singing the song at all. And they're
Right.
just typing something. They're typing something into a generator and have like the audacity to call themselves an artist. It's insane. It's like, you're a technician. You're
Pretty much, yeah.
a computer operator. You're not an artist.
And the crazy thing is, because I've come across some of this music on TikTok and Insta and stuff, and it sounds so real.
Lately, it does. I used to be able to catch it, but there was I was listening to this song the other day, actually. It was on a podcast, and I was like, his voice is beautiful. And I was like, I need to find out who this artist is. And I went and found his Instagram, and in the captions, he was saying that, oh, this is like an AI, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, if he did not say it was AI, I would have never known.
Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because yeah, it's crazy just because I used to be able to tell because you used to be able to hear and with some of the AI songs you can like hear it.
Uh,
But now like a lot of the new ones it's like actually crazy. I'm like, no, the fact that I can't tell. I don't like how the technology is getting to where you can't even tell. It's like, oh my gosh, that's actually scary.
right. But you're very heavily involved in all aspects of the production. You write, you sing, you're involved in the visual creation, like your music video, as well as how involved are you in the studio?
The studio is where I am right now, which is the
Oh,
living
nice.
room. The living
Mine
room.
too.
Yeah. So, and it's been this way for now it's my 10th year recording.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah. Yeah, time flies but also crawls at the
It's
same time.
true. It is very true. It
But yeah,
flies when you're recording, but it feels like it crawls when you're sitting on something you need to release, right?
very true. So because of the nature of being so self-taught, I'm
Yes.
very involved because I had to learn everything and there's no one else here when I'm making the songs because I work remotely with producers.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy to me that I've still never been in a recording studio. I've still never recorded in one. I want to try it at least once, but just to see what that experience is because it's kind of wild when I think about it sometimes. I'm like, dang, I can't believe I've done all these songs and I've even had songs on radio at this point, and I've
Yeah.
still never even stepped foot in a recording studio.
That's the 21st century. I mean, this might surprise a lot of people, but out of all the songs that I have released, only two of those have been recorded in a professional studio, and that was on the same day.
Exactly. And even like mainstream artists like Kylie Minogue is doing a lot of self-recording.
Yeah.
And I loved seeing Kylie's whole process for Tension 2
Yeah.
in the disco album. She would post the reels and stuff. Just singing in her pajamas in like
Right?
the most random place. It's like I love it. It's like, okay, if Kylie's doing it, this is the thing.
But that's the 21st century. Like I was saying before, we started our convo was I was on a Zoom call with my cousin who's a producer and like we've actually never met in person because we only just came in contact with each other last year. And we're working on this through Zoom. So you don't even have to go into studio anymore. As long as you have the setup to record professional vocals at home, you don't have to go anywhere. It's crazy.
I was listening to a podcast the other day. I want to say it was, oh, actually, I don't want to get the name wrong and put words in the wrong person's mouth. But
Yeah,
basically, the guy said that a recording studio has a lot of shiny things that you don't really need. So,
it's true.
if you can get the vocal in high quality or get the instruments tracked in high quality, you're good to go.
It's true. It's true. But it is an experience like no other. Like honestly, being in that studio that time, it's one of the my most favorite experiences of my life for many reasons. And it was also very different because like you, I'm so used to doing all my recording of my vocals by myself at home and having complete control.
Oh
Putting it
my
in someone
gosh.
else's hands is a totally different feeling altogether.
Oh my gosh. Blessing and a curse because
Right?
blessing in the way that you gain skills and you also gain a personal ear for what your strengths are as an artist.
Yes.
But it's a curse in the way of whenever someone else is handling your art, you can be like, no, you're doing you can it can, just it can
I
be a
get it.
frustrating experience. I ended up editing the Somebody to Love video myself and doing everything, including the color grading, just because I am so used to doing things
Yes.
myself. And that was the only way to ensure that the video would come out exactly as my vision was for it.
Yeah,
especially that part of the beginning with the well, no, especially the dance scene. But
which is
also
fabulous, by the way.
thank you. And I did that choreography myself. That's the first time people have seen my choreography. This is something that I've done. I started choreographing dance in 2024,
Right.
but that's the first time people have actually seen that. So it felt nice to show another passion, another thing that I'm passionate about. And you'll definitely see more of that. Actually, today I was choreographing something else for a collaboration sort of vibe that you'll see soon.
Right.
Um,
Very excited.
and I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Pretty much yeah. So I edited the video just to make sure it was true to vision. But yeah, that is definitely like a blessing and a curse of when you are in the self-taught sort of uh generation. You
Most
can
definitely.
you have like a very precise vision and other people can't read your minds. But at the same time, when you do come across someone who gets it,
Yes.
it's like you hold on to them.
Oh, most definitely. That's why the person that I recorded with, we were on the same page from the very first second, and I was like, "Wow, awesome!"
Yeah,
Because that is
because
rare. You're right.
then it's just like flow state. Like I
Yeah.
think like the producers that I work with, it's really because they're the ones that get it.
Yeah.
And there are people that I've stopped working with just because, and they might be incredibly talented. I might love them to bits and think they're amazing person, but would have just stopped working with them just because I feel like we're not clicking on a creative level.
Yeah. And you have a
And
vision too, right? And
yeah,
yeah.
and it does suck because I really do like I'm a people person, so I also don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Most definitely.
So it's like
What
uh,
was the biggest challenge in creating your first music video?
the biggest challenge, it was all new to me.
Hmm.
So the biggest challenge, I think the edit. I think that was it because I had to learn a lot in a few days. Like it was actually, I mean, it was all on last minute. Like it
Yeah.
was like I was editing the video and I had to turn it in to Vivo about like maybe a whole week before it could come out.
Yeah.
So I was editing and learning how to color correct and learning a bunch of skills that on the job. Um, Watching plenty of YouTube tutorials and there I made a bunch of different versions of the video before getting to the final one. And this was all in like what, like 3 days time span. So that was
Wow.
the biggest challenge, the edit, because that was my first time doing that.
And very little sleep, I imagine.
I don't sleep a lot in general,
Yeah.
so the sleep was regular just because I don't know. I've always been that way. Like even before I started getting intense with music, I already didn't really sleep that much. So I don't know. Whatever, something I don't know why. I just haven't.
You emphasize self-love. That's a very important theme throughout all of your songs, actually. What does that journey look like for you personally?
It looks like thinking I understand something and then life sort of pulling the rug from underneath me and being like, actually, you don't know anything. And then having to sort of learn a whole new chapter
Right.
in about myself. So it's I write all my songs based on whatever's on my spirit and is on my mind. And that's so it ends up being a recurring theme just because I guess it is something that I'm actively working on.
Yes.
Um, and that's why I actually really Somebody Love was the first time that I felt like it pushed to a limit to where I was uncomfortable
Right.
with releasing it. Uh, just because the verses, I don't know, I just felt really uncomfortable. And even after the song was mixed and mastered, like I was listening to it and going back and forth because I was like, I don't know, I just felt very uncomfortable with the idea of releasing that. And then I was like, there's no way I can I don't know, all the plans that I had for it, making a video and all that, I was like, I don't really think I can do all that for this song. It's just hitting a little too close to home.
Right.
And you know, I really put my heart out there with this one, and it just felt a mix. It was a mix of emotions the entire experience, but I'm glad that I did it because um I feel more transparent with uh my supporters. So
Well, it's also, I don't know about you, but I find it a little terrifying sometimes being so candid and vulnerable in my songs because, it's hard for one being that way, with anybody, let alone to the public through something that, people listen to and is so widely heard, right?
exactly. And also that concern about like, will this change the way people perceive me? You know, I
Right,
thought about that too. Because everyone has an idea in your head about, you know, how they think you are.
right.
And then the more you reveal, of course, they understand you more. And I pretty much learned it's a positive thing. It's a good thing when people can see the different sides of you, you know?
Yes, most
And because that's
definitely.
being human. The people listening aren't really they're not necessarily like judging you because they deal with the same stuff too. That's the part about being human that's so funny is that we all deal with crazy stuff, but then we'll be embarrassed about it as if we don't all deal with different problems or we don't all have problems, you know?
You're right. I love this song, and I think it's my favorite out of what you've released so far, actually, because it is a little bit more candid and vulnerable, and that again, harking back to authenticity, right? Because we all go through feelings like that at some point.
Thank you. I think this is actually my favorite too.
Yeah,
It's definitely going on the EP. Right now, I'm going back and forth on if I'm putting Dreamland on there, but Ty, excuse me, I meant to say Somebody to Love is
right.
definitely on there. Definitely on there. I love that song. It's one of the most important songs in my sort of life and personal journey because working on the project from the song to the video, I grew so much on a personal level from making Somebody's Love.
Right.
I haven't had a project that made me grow that much as a person and sort of force me to really look in and then even listening to the song and I don't know, I just learned a lot about myself on that project. So I think just on a personal level, it was a very important thing to do.
Most definitely. And you know what? A lot of people who aren't artists, they don't realize that growth that actually does happen when, especially when you're writing about something from a personal perspective that is vulnerable and candid. It does help with the growth. Most definitely, because it helps you see different facets of yourself that you don't intentionally look for, right?
Yeah, it's almost like when you have a nightmare and you talk about it out loud with a friend and you realize how silly it sounds.
Hmm.
It's like that you were actually scared of that dream.
Yes,
It's like that's how it was with the song. It's called listening back and being like, I cannot believe I actually felt this way. You know,
yes,
like I had a moment earlier this month where I was like, I can't believe I actually let a man make me question my own worth. Like that's
yeah,
insane to me now that I would let an outside person make me question my own worth, that my relationship with myself was that weak that I could let someone from the outside make me question my own value. You know,
yeah.
I realized how insane that was. So, when you really put everything on the table and look at it, it helps you get a better analysis of like why am I actually feeling this way? What's actually going on with me?
And you've had some chart success in other parts of the world with this track too. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yes, this was the first time I ever had a song chart.
Fabulous, congratulations.
And it's funny because I got the email about it and I just assumed it was like a spam thing. Because I was like,
They
whatever.
sometimes can be, you know, and
Yeah,
yeah.
because you get those emails all the time talking about this and that, and you just get used to like ignoring them. I just
Yep.
got used to ignoring them.
I
And
have a
it turned
spam
out,
box full of
right.
them.
And it turned out that one was real. And I was like, oh, wow. Well, this feels great. This feels great. And I'm honestly so excited for this year. Last year was a lot of trial and error. I was, I mean, I'm still new, of course. I still don't even have my first EP out yet. I'm still very new, but last year was definitely a lot of trial and error, you know, self-discovery
Yes.
and just finding my place. Where do I fit in? What do I want to do? What do I want to say? Who am I? You know, a lot of that. It was definitely fun though, with Dreamland and Type. But this year, I feel like I have a more uh focused vision for, you know, everything that
Yeah.
I'm doing. So, and I think that's the only reason why I'm now having the thoughts of maybe not putting Dreamland on there, maybe putting it on there. I don't know.
Trust me, I get it. I'm a Virgo and I always slip on track lists.
Yes, that's the biggest thing for me. And also the track list order,
Yep.
because that matters a lot. That really matters a lot. All the albums that I'm a big fan of listening to albums in order the way that artists intended for me to listen to
Me
it. Like
too.
I'm not gonna shuffle it. I know there's
Yeah.
people that just, oh, just shuffle this and whatever happens, happens. I'm like, no, you gotta play it in order.
I still listen to records. You can't shuffle on those things.
I have all of these vinyls, but I don't have a record player,
Oh,
and
get
that is
one.
something I need. Yeah, I
I
definitely need
just,
that.
do you know, I'm gonna age myself here, but I grew up in the 80s. And when I left home at 16. I packed up all my records, but my record player had stopped working long before I left home. And for over 20 years. Oh God, for more than 20 years, because I only opened that box during COVID, but they had never been touched. I'd never played them since, nothing. And because of COVID, just on a whim, everyone was addicted to shopping on Amazon and everything because there was nothing else to do. And
Yeah.
I'm
I
like, I'm gonna get a record player and crack those records out. And let me tell you, that was the best thing I ever did. Yeah, you should
bet
get
it
a record
was.
player.
I bet it was good. Yeah, I have a copy of The Wiz that SGN gifted
Oh,
me,
I love
and
that musical.
it has some original promotional materials inside of it and all that
Nice.
from the 70s. And I would love to give that a spin, at least one, so I don't, ruin it. But I'd love to listen.
Definitely grab a record player. You won't regret it. But speaking of EPs, what can you tease us about your upcoming EP? Can you?
I'll reveal the name of it, yes.
Yeah? Oh, fabulous. Is this an exclusive?
Well, this is coming out first. I said it somewhere else, but this is coming out first. So
Amazing.
the EP is called, and it's so funny because it's so easy to guess. It's called Envy.
Nice.
That's the name of the EP, Envy.
Fabulous. But that's perfect. It's simple. It's who you are, and you know what? It also can take another meaning too, like envy, right?
Well, I guess depending on uh I named it that because especially with Somebody to Love on there, it's truly representative of who I am at this moment,
Yes.
It has, the fun moments. It's actually mainly fun. Somebody to Love is the only like sad song, but it has different aspects and elements of who I am, and it's also introducing me to the world, my first official project. So I thought
Right.
that would be a great name for it. Madonna's first album was Madonna.
Yep.
Janet's first album was Janet. Kylie's first album was Kylie.
True.
So yeah, I just thought that was good for the first project.
Fabulous. And it's going to be released sometime this year?
Yeah, it will be coming out this year in the fall.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I love Somebody to Love so much that I'm making it the track of the week.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome. Did you want to do a special lead in to Somebody to Love for us?
Sure. I'm Envi Jordan, and this is my brand new single, Somebody to Love. It's pain turned into art, and if it resonates with you, I hope you enjoy.
Fabulous. And make sure you go out and stream all of Envy Jordan's music, which is available anywhere where you stream music. And where can they reach you on Insta?
My Instagram is Envi Jordan.
Fabulous.
That
Well,
is my social media of choice. I've deactivated my TikTok. I don't believe in a lot of the stuff going on over there. So
right.
Instagram is where you can find me. Not that Meta's any better. That's a whole other story,
No.
but you know,
We're running out of platforms.
it sucks, you know.
Yeah.
It really, even Spotify, but that's a whole other story.
Right. Goodness. Well, thank you again for joining us, my friend. And again, go out there and stream all of Envy's music. And thank you again for sharing your journey with us.
And thanks for having me.
You're always welcome, my friend.